So, have you heard AI is here and it's here to stay and it's growing rapidly? I don't know. Are you living under a rock? Because that would be the only way that you didn't know that AI is here. But here's the other news. So are emotions, human emotions. And leading the human side of automation is your power move for 2026. So let's get into the sandbox and get into this topic because your team is anxious and you might be expecting something from them with this new automation tool that you have called AI. And they're trying to wonder, is my job here? Is my job not going to be here? Do I have a job next year, the year after, 3 years from now? What's happening? It's up to you, friend, to learn how to lead the emotional side, not just the technical advancements that AI is bringing into your workplace. So we're stepping into the sandbox now in 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right. Welcome in. I'm Tammy J Bond, and this is the Leadership Sandbox. And I want to share this with you, leaders. You're not just implementing AI, you're actually messing with people's identity, their sense of security, and their sense of worth. I want you to think about that for a minute because I feel when I've done the research and I'm looking into this and what AI is doing, and I've kind of been silent about it. In fact, this is actually, I believe, the only episode I've done yet on this powerful topic called AI and how it impacts you as a leader and as a manager, as a supervisor of other people. See, AI is threatening right now 3 human needs, and we're not talking enough about it. It's threatening the sense of certainty that people want and need, the competency of who they are and how they see themselves performing in their role. That intrinsic motivation piece comes up with it when it comes into the competence, as well as control. These 3 human needs, certainty, competence, and control, are being impacted by the way leaders and organizations are failing to implement AI well for the human capital part that's so necessary to pay attention to. Because the emotional temperature right now, it's really interesting. There's several surveys out there. A Pew survey in early 2025 said 52% of workers are worried about AI's impact on the workplace. 52%. And then about 32% think that it will lead to fewer job opportunities for them. So people are in a panic mode and scrambling, trying to figure out how is AI going to impact their role. And it's creating a competition. You've got little mini Dorothy the Destroyers walking through and Nick the Castle Kickers walking through the office because of the uncertainty that AI is bringing. And it's something you as a manager, as a leader, as a supervisor can change and control now to support your team moving forward. Around 33% are overwhelmed or feel overwhelmed by AI in the workplace right now. And one global study said that 4 in 10 workers fear AI will replace their jobs in the next decade. Now, this was earlier on in 2025, so I'm guessing that number, that next decade, as far as I'm hearing, is even shrinking. It's going to be sooner than later that people are going to have jobs replaced because of AI. And 42% of folks still feel confident about its impact, meaning there's a confidence that people have not for the positive of what AI will do, but for the negative of the jobs that they trained so hard for. I mean, my goodness, you can ask AI anything and you're going to get an answer, whether it's a truthful answer, the right answer, or the best answer. I think we're going to be seeing some big shifts in the way that people are using it. But what I've noticed in organizations is everybody's talking about it, but nobody's actually putting in the policies and the procedures on how to use it, how to train people to use their prompts correctly, how to decipher and weed through the mess that can sometimes come back if the prompt is wrong, the output isn't going to be right or good or better. Here's the translation for your team. Your team is both hopeful and terrified right now of what AI is doing and will do. And that ambivalence shows up as passive resistance, quiet quitting, and overcompensating perfectionism. Remember, I talked about the Dorothy the Destroyers and the Nick the Castle Kickers that are going to come into the workplace to disrupt because of their own fears and not wanting to lose. They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose out to AI, and they don't want to lose out to the Joe or the Sally sitting to their left or to their right. So what are they going to do? They're going to sabotage the people around them to look as though they're top performing over others, when really it's an AI issue that's disturbing it, because no one's talking about the realities of how it may or may not impact, and teaching people how to use it for their benefit. Here's where, leader, you're dropping the ball. Many organizations, as I said, still lack actually AI guidance and protocols. A Slack Workforce Lab study said that 40% of workers say their workplace has no AI usage guidelines. So people are just using it to hack through projects and turn something in, which actually has a whole nother legal ramification depending on your industry. And a European study said that 83% report AI in use, but only 31% of those organizations say that or employees say that their organizations have a comprehensive policy around how to use it. I want you to go back when we were implementing tools like email. I remember those days a very long time ago, but yet not, but it was. Anyways, I digress. We didn't have policies in place around how to use email, and it was really causing a lot of disruption, and they kind of stopped talking and stopped having meetings, because now we have this thing called email. Let's just send it out an email. But then people are getting in trouble and reprimanded and even fired because they weren't being responsive enough. But there was no guidelines or performance measures or policies around it. That's where we're at with AI right now. And this is the thing. Employees are reading your silence of not saying or doing anything or putting a policy in place or procedures in place as, my leader really doesn't know what they're doing, and so how do I trust them? And geez, if this goes wrong, the way that we're not implementing AI with any form function of resemblance of what health looks like, gosh, am I on the chopping block? Is it going to be on me? And your absence is a clear distraction for them. So as a leader, your opportunity is to stop having their fear write the rest of your story and transform the culture in your organization. AI doesn't have to be the scary big brother. It can actually be the comprehensive tool as a sideline to what they're already doing to enhance efficiencies. We just want to make sure you, as managers, leaders, supervisors, are talking to your people about that. Make no mistakes, they're all talking about it, but they're not hearing from the leaders, which brings that calm and that trust. Deloitte says it this way in their human capital trends: trust and human sustainability, protecting long-term human performance, are now top issues for organizations across the world. Let me say that again. Trust and the sustainability at the human level for your people ought to be a top issue for your organization that you're discussing going into the new year, so that your people know what's expected and how to perform. And here's the breakdown for your playbook. They need you to name the change that's happening, what AI is and what it is not here to do for their job, for their positions. And it's not just for the company. You got to break it down to the granular, get to the person level and the position level. Clarify your point two, which is clarify your expectations. What is it okay to use AI for, and what it's not okay to use it for, and what the outcome or the expectation is that you have. If you find someone's misusing it, what can they expect to have happen? And I want you to do this as your number three. Invest in skill building for you, but also for your people, not just as a tool. Let's give them the skill building to learn how to correctly put in the prompts and how to verify and critique the AI output. I've learned that in recent maybe a couple of months. How do I get really critical with the outputs and change my inputs so that I get a better output, a stronger output when I'm using it? And here's the way that you dial in with that: in a dialogue with your team. You let them know AI is here to augment you, to enhance you, not to erase you. Here's where I still need your human judgment for the work that we do here. Or, you are responsible for the answer, for the output, even if it came from AI. Because I've also seen this. Well, I just used Chat GPT, and Chat GPT told me, I don't really actually care if you use Chat GPT, or what tool you used. If it's an error and incorrect and it's impacting the business, then we have a problem. And the problem is the human problem. So it's not about the swift move of now I have this efficiency tool if we're not actually putting the human capital behind it to evaluate and assess it. So here's your moves in your last sandbox moment here for today. I want you to push pause. AI is already rolled out. I mean, it's not a matter of if it's happened. And I want you, however, to go back and push pause with folks and say, we need to go back to the drawing board on this and talk about the policy and talk about our procedures. And I want you to push pause with yourself and ask yourself, did we deploy or are we deploying AI to help the people or just to squeeze more out of them or to put the fear in them to work harder? Than whatever that, air quotes, work harder means, because we haven't defined it yet. And I want you to ask this bold question to your team. What about AI really scares you the most right now? Sit down and talk with the team as you're rounding out this year. What about AI at work scares you right now? And where do you see that AI could remove some of the dumb work that we do, some of the repetitive work that we do, so that you can do more of what you're brilliant at? Because we can put some workflows and efficiencies in place. Can AI help with that? Get the team involved. When your people feel involved in the big decisions and the plans that are coming and changes that are happening, they actually feel more connected to the outputs that we're all creating. And here is one little commitment you can make. Just pick one process this month before the end of the year where you will work with your team to co-design an AI experiment that will help them to get more familiar with one and comfortable with how to use it. You probably have some power users on your team. They've probably, bought into the Instagram or LinkedIn courses that are all like, here for $97, you can be a power user of AI. They might have because they're trying to figure out what is this tool and how do I use it? I want you to be the one that asks the question of your team and brings them alongside of you to co-create something together for the team, for the organization, for the outputs that you're wanting. You're going to win on the human side of this whole equation because AI is here and still human emotions rule the day. So you want to lead the human side of AI, of automation with your people, not allow it to rule them. So here's your challenge. If your people cannot say out loud what they're afraid of, AI will quietly run your culture from the shadows because they're going to be using it and working it. And it's going to be running it, and it may not be what you want when you remove the people from the equation. Hey, I'd love to hear how you're using it. So I'd love it if you would DM me, send me an email. I want to hear from you. This question came up from a leader, which is why the importance I felt of this episode now, because I had a leader talking to me about they weren't sure how to lead in an AI time. And we're going to be talking more about that next week as well. How do you really truly lead your people when times are shifting so rapidly? So rapidly, it's hard to keep up. You've got this, friend. This is not hard. This is an exciting time. I think change is fantastic and fun when done well and when communicated from a place of, here's what I see, here's what I want, asking the powerful questions of the people around you so that we remember that we're all raising each other up and we're having the dialogue with one another. That's what I want to challenge you with. Talk about it. We're not going to have AI hiding out in the shadows with our people. We're actually going to bring it to the forefront and have a dialogue of how they see they can use it more effectively, more powerfully in the positions that they have and not be operating out of fear. All right, that's it for the Sandbox today. Hey, make it a great day. Thanks for taking a moment today to grow into your next level of leadership. I'll see you in the Sandbox next time. God bless you.